new deal for you, Scotty, after, I guess, months of waiting?
Yeah, no, it's pretty exciting and again, very privileged to be able to continue doing what I love here in Canberra for the next 3 years. Yeah, it was an interesting time for me coming off contract after such a extensive year with Brumbies and Wallabies, and yeah, I'm just happy to have it all settled now.
What was the clincher for you to stay with the Brumbies and in Australian rugby?
Obviously with Australian rugby, there's so much I want to achieve still at higher honours, but again, to be able to achieve that, you've got to do well at Super Rugby level, and I've given a lot to Brumbies, and they've given me a lot of opportunities over the years, and there's still a lot I feel like I need to achieve with this group of players, and I'm happy that I've got 3 years to do that now.
Obviously, the World Cup in your mind as well, staying until then, to 2019.
Yeah, that's still quite a ways away. It's a new year now. I've got to earn my spot back in the Wallabies fold as well. There's all new competition vying for all the spots. So for me now, it's all about getting back into the Brumbies and doing my best and making sure playing my role to help us win this Super Rugby Championship.
Obviously, starting on Friday, the shoulder and everything. Sorry, the ankle and the elbow.
Yeah, elbow and the knee.
Elbow and the knee.
Yeah, no, it's all come up really well. I always say credit to our strength conditioning and our medical program here. They monitor us well and make sure we're not doing more than we need to, and make sure that our rehab is in tip-top shape. So now I'm coming back fit, ready to go, and yeah, it's been, it was a sort of great announcement for me when he told me I was starting this week. I mean, it's the biggest game in Canberra's calendar, so yeah, relishing it.
Does it get much bigger day than re-signing and getting back in the starting side?
No, it doesn't. I mean, it's a pretty special thing, but I guess, one of the big things we focus on is making sure that, we're strong as a whole squad this year, and one of our biggest focuses is just making sure that from 1 to 32, we can really count on each other. I think, it's something that we talked about over the last few years, but it's something we really believe this year. And I mean, you saw it with Alan, last week. He had such a great performance in that first 40, and for someone like myself to be able to mix and match with him, it's great, and I think it will only strengthen our squad moving forward.
Was it good for you last week to come in and ease your way back in after everything that's happened in the off-season?
I don't think you can ease your way back in playing prop. I think you've just sort of got to go out there and do it. But no, it was a great 40 for me to really get some air back in the lungs and really get the hits on the body again. We had a lot more scrums in the second half, which is good for me. It's something that that scrum fitness you can't really train. You've just got to sort of go out there and take what you've done during the week, and then hopefully it pays off in the game. So yeah, it was great for me. I had a great hit out. We had a great result, but it won't mean much if we don't back it up tomorrow.
This scrum was a bit of a mess last week. I mean, are you confident that's an area that you can target?
Yeah, I think you've got to take it as each week comes. Everyone presents a new challenge. The Waratahs are always up for this game, and I've always been, over the years, a strong set piece team. So we're not looking too much into, what happened last week against the Reds, and we're not looking too much at we've sort of moved on from the Hurricanes game now. That's that's one game of 80 minutes. We've got to back that up again ourselves. So yeah, look, the main focus is just on us and making sure we do our core roles at that time.
Is there a feeling within the side that this is the biggest game of the year for your team, given how important the local derbies are now?
I think to Canberra, it's always the biggest game of the year. As I found out when I first came here, but I guess the way the competition is going nowadays, every game's big. You've just got to keep winning. And we've found out over the years, having to travel to South Africa and travel to New Zealand for finals time. The toll it can take on the body and on the squad. It is such a long season. So for us, every game's a big game. We've got to make sure that we're winning and hopefully finishing in that top 2 position.
But they've had the wood over you guys a little bit lately as well, though. Have they won the physical battle in those ones, and that's where it started from?
Definitely. I think you don't win unless you win the physical battle of the game. So yeah, look, it's something that we're looking to rectify. It's not about what they're doing. It's just we have to come together as a group and draw the line in the sand and say enough is enough, and you really sort of step up to it. And so that starts tomorrow. And we just, I believe we've done the groundwork this week. We've prepared well and we have full belief in the team.
Because usually there's a lot of fire around these games, sort of thing. But have you tried to keep it a bit calmer this week rather than getting caught up in, we want to kill them sort of thing?
Yeah, for sure. I think you've got to take that mental approach into the game where you're level-headed. You're not looking too much into it from an emotional point of view. Rugby is about controlling your emotions and being able to bring them out at the right times in the game. So it's been good. Bernie's been focusing a lot on the mental approach to the game, which has been good for us. Is that calm before the storm, like a cliche, I guess. So hopefully we put it into good effect tomorrow night.
Scotty, what's the reason behind 3-year deals? In the past, I guess Wallabies players have opted to sign 2-year deals. Did you just want to align with World Cup cycle, or was it more of you're just really happy with where Australian rugby's going at the moment, or?
Yeah, I think more just really happy with Australian rugby and how we went last year, and I just really wanted to be a part of it. And anytime you can be here for a bit longer than you anticipated, it's great. And they've shown a lot of faith in me, and it comes down to me being able to repay that faith over the next 3 years. And I believe in my ability that I can. And it's really going to come down to whether they see that as well. But I guess it's always a personal preference thing too. I'm a very big family man, and that leaves me here for the next 3 years to be close to family, and then for them to enjoy watching me play rugby in Australia as well. So that was also played a massive factor in it too.
Because talking about family, like you're from Sydney, did you grow up supporting the Tars, or?
Yeah, no, I mean, you grew up supporting every Sydney team. I didn't really find out till I was about 14 that we had an AFL team, growing up in West Sydney. But by default, you just supported the Sydney Swans. So, I supported them at the time. They had, a few Islanders in the team that I sort of were looking up to. But I don't know. I sort of just followed a lot of players growing up. I was a big fan of George Smith, Cliffy Palu and these boys, and I was a back rower growing up. So that was sort of what I did as a kid, just sort of tried to emulate who I wanted to be. And then, I sort of realised as it goes down, it's about taking your opportunities. And thankfully enough, the Brumbies gave me my opportunity.
Because were you tempted to, you want to be close to family? Obviously, Sydney's the closest you can be. Were you tempted to look at exploring an option to go to the Tars? That's where you started, I guess.
Yeah, I guess always being close to family was very important to me, and it was a big thing in all of these discussions. Talking to Dad and Mum, but at the end of the day, they said to me, it's really up to you. It's what you want to do, where you believe you want to live comfortably for the next 3 years. And at the end of the day, they're so supportive of me, and they said, whatever you want to do, we're always behind you. And obviously that's a big thing, being close to them. But I mean, it's only a 3-hour drive. I'm sure they're used to it. They've done it for 4 years now. So.
What about Alan re-signing this week as well? A guy you've grown up with, basically families are quite close, a lot of history there. I know you're probably like a cage bull last week when he got the start on you, but to be together for the next 3 years is pretty massive from where you've come from.
It really is, and to come back from the Wallabies fold and to see the progression he's had is huge. He's going into his 3rd season now, and to see where he's come through in leaps and bounds, and he fully deserved his start last week, and that's great for me. It adds that fire, that competition, and across that front row. And that's what you want. You always want to be testing yourself as a player, pushing yourself. You never want an easy ride, heading into anything. So, and that's what Alan is doing at the moment. He's pushing me and making me grow as a player. So, congratulations to him. I think it's great for himself and his family. We're very close, and I'm sure they're very proud of him.
Did you ever think when you were growing up that, I know there's Pat and Michael as well, that many of you guys will be playing together at the same club?
Yeah, I guess growing up, I always thought that maybe one day myself and my brother would play together. But at the end of the day, what I've realised is your rugby journey is your own, and you've just got to do what you can with whatever you're given, whatever opportunity you're given. And Mikey's doing so well at Crusaders. He's on the bench spot there pushing Owen Franks, and my little brother's doing well over at Stade, living it up in Paris. As a 21-year-old. So. I think, maybe one day, you never know what the future holds, but, for now, me and Alan will enjoy our time here in Canberra.